Desiree told her, well, it's a ghost in here. And the sister's like, what do you mean it's a ghost? Desiree said, well, I've been telling y'all it's a ghost in here, but no one wants to believe me. So both
she went ahead and crossed the stick. The minute she took that first footstep across like where the wooden stick was, she disappeared into like thin air and was transported to a completely different realm. When she came,
and when I first got into the bed and like laid down, I just felt like a really weird presence. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like a weird vibe, but I just brushed it off and I went to bed because I was just so tired. I didn't care, to be honest.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny and welcome back to another episode of Spooky Stories. So I have a bunch of spooky stories for you guys, but I also have a short story of my own while I was at my friend's house because we're pretty sure her house was haunted. And here's what.
this is a story about a girl that was taken by jinns and lived to tell about it. Fatima grew up in a small little village located in Morocco. One afternoon, she was sweeping the front of her house just like she typically did. There were kids right across from her that were throwing rocks into a river, but she wasn't really paying them any mind. While the kids were sitting there just kind of throwing rocks into the river, this man just appears out of nowhere holding a wooden stick. He goes up to the kids and very firmly says, "Stop throwing rocks into the river. My family and I live there and you are hitting us." Then he goes and takes the wooden stick and plops it really firmly on the ground and says, "Anyone who crosses this stick or throws any rocks past this stick will regret it." The kids were terrified and of course did as he said. The man then turned around and disappeared. Fatima walked over to them and asked what happened, and the kids told her the story of the man, but Fatima did not believe them. She was like, "What are you talking about? I did not see any man." But the kids kept telling her, "Yeah, he told us we can't cross the stick or else." Fatima really thought that they were playing a prank on her, so she didn't really believe them, being that they were younger than her. She went ahead and crossed the stick. The minute she took that first footstep across like where the wooden stick was, she disappeared into like thin air and was transported to a completely different realm. When she came to, she was in a world full of houses that were built of salt. Like it was like a salt city, standing right in front of a very angry family. They were all jinns. She cried and pleaded for them to send her back, but they told her absolutely not, that her punishment was that she was going to have to stay in that world for the rest of her life. Meanwhile, the kids on the other side and the rest of her family are looking for her frantically, but no one knows where she went, and no one is believing the kid's story of her just vanishing into thin air. As Fatima is now sitting with this Jinn family, they hand her a plate full of fish guts and bones and tell her to eat it. She very hesitantly goes to grab the plate, but before she does, she says out loud, "Bismillah, in the name of Allah." The minute she said that, she was quickly transported back to the normal world. She was right back in the same spot when she crossed over the stick, with her hand kind of reaching out, grabbing the plate. Her hand to this day stayed in that position, like her hand was completely, permanently just stuck in that shape. Have you ever had a Jinn experience, or do you know of anyone who has ever had a Jinn experience? If you have, feel free to comment down below.
So imagine you making your daughter's bottle and you sit it down on the countertop and it goes from one side to the next by itself. What's up, cousins? So yes, I am back with the story time. Let's not waste no time and let's get into it. For the story, we're going to call her Desiree. So Desiree is pregnant at the time. Her boyfriend is out house hunting, looking for them a nice house because he just got a good job, making some good money. So they came across this 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, and they was actually remodeling the house. It was construction going on right then and there. So they knew, okay, once all this get done, this house gonna be fire. So as they see the construction people working on the house, they end up making a stop and talking to them. And the construction workers end up giving them the owner's number. So they called the owners up. So the owner's like, "Hey, you give us a deposit, we'll save the house for you right now." So what they do next? Put the deposit down for that house. Let's not forget Desiree is pregnant. Now, fast forward, she's giving birth. Now, the same day that she gives birth is the same day that the house owners call her boyfriend and tells him, hey, the house is ready, y'all can move in. So you know what her boyfriend did? Packed their ass up and moved them right on in that house while she was in the hospital. Desiree said she should have knew something was off with how cheap the rent was. So she gets out the hospital, she goes into the house, and she noticing, damn, like, it's cold in here. Mind you, it's summertime, and she's in South Carolina. So she's like, why is it so cold? So she's cleaning the house from the top to the bottom, cleaning the windows, cleaning the floors, mopping, spraying, doing the whole nine while her baby daddy is at work. Boom, the second night come, her daughter crying, she wants her bottle, so she goes in there to make her daughter a bottle. Now, after she gets done making the bottle, she places the bottle down on the countertop. The bottle moved from one side of the counter to the other side of the counter and then back to where it started. Desiree could not believe what she just saw. Like, literally, she did not believe it. So she ended up taking a napkin and wiping the excess milk from the bottle because she's thinking maybe it has something to do with the excess milk. Maybe it moved itself. Maybe she just had so many things going through her head because she just could not believe what just happened. So next, she set the bottle on top of the microwave. And what happened? The same thing. The bottle moved from where it was at to the other end of the microwave and then back where it started. Desiree was so scared at this point. She packed up that milk, she packed up that water, that bottle, and her daughter and went back into the living room because she said she was not going into any other part of that house until her boyfriend got home. He didn't get off work till 11 o'clock at night. And mind you, when all this is occurring, it's only 9 o'clock. Desiree had to use the bathroom so bad, but she did not care. She held it as long as she could because she said she was not going in any part of that house. So when he got home, she told him what was going on, and he's like, nah, it ain't happened. You know, stuff like that don't happen to black people. So he did not believe anything that she was saying. So he ended up convincing her that she was tripping, that she was delusional, and whatever she thought that happened didn't happen, and she believed him. So the next day come and her mother come over to help her get the house in order, you know, putting things up, unpacking stuff, just helping her because they only been in the house for 3 days. And mind you, she just had a little girl 5 days prior. So boom, all of that gets done. So Desiree's tired. She's laying down with her baby, just chilling. She hears the garage door open and shut, open and shut. So she's thinking, maybe it's her boyfriend going in and out the door. That's what she's thinking. So she gets up. She put the baby down. She gets up. She go see what's going on. However, no one's there. It's just her and her daughter. When she goes into the garage, she sees that her boyfriend isn't even in the house because his car isn't in the garage nor outside. So she's thinking, nah, like I'm tripping. And at this time, she didn't have a house phone and she did not have a cell phone. The only phone they had was her boyfriend phone. So she's scared at this point. So what she did was she took her behind back to her room with her daughter and she stayed in that room because she said she was not going in any other parts of that house. So he comes home, she's telling him her experiences that was happening that day. And once again, he does not believe her and he tells her she's tripping. So fast forward, by this time, they done spent a week in this house. Now, the 8th day that they was in this house, when Desiree woke up, she woke up and found her daughter, her newborn daughter, unresponsive, and she passed away. Desiree strongly feels her daughter's unaliving has something to do with the house they moved into. So after her daughter passed away, she did not go back into the house. She ended up staying with her mom for about a month. So her and her boyfriend are trying to get some things together to figure out what they're going to do because they just moved in the house, which means they cannot break this lease. So after a month goes by, Desiree decides to move back in the house. Now, she only felt comfortable, some type of comfort moving back into the house is if his brother and his sister, her boyfriend, brother, and sister moved into the house as well. That way, she wasn't alone whenever her boyfriend goes to work. So everything ended up working out because the boyfriend, sister, and brother needed somewhere to stay anyway. So Desiree moves back into the house. Now, her and her boyfriend are just chilling on the couch. They're just watching TV, just talking and communicating, you know, trying to get through a tough time. Now, as they're talking, they see an orb come out of the floor with their deceased daughter's face on it. She said the orb came out of the floor and left out of the house. Her and her baby daddy looked at each other and said, Did you just see that? So 2 days later, after this happened, she said her baby father came to her and told her that he cheated on her while she was pregnant with their daughter that just passed away. And not only did he just cheat on her, he cheated on her with her own sister. Now in the past, Desiree did ask him, was anything going on between him and one of her sisters, and he denied it. She asked him that while she was pregnant, and he just denied it, and guess what? Denied it. Her boyfriend stated that after their daughter passed away and after seeing the orb with her face on it, he just felt like he had to come clean. So now Desiree is feeling another heartbreak on top of another heartbreak. Now before, the sister and the brother was staying with Desiree's sister, the one that he cheated with. So everyone knew except Desiree. So she tells her boyfriend he has to go stay at his mama's house. So she said after that had happened, she's doing laundry and she hear Ronnie going up and down the stairs while she's crying doing her laundry. She was so scared at that point, she ran out of that washroom. Mind you, she's there by herself because she just told her boyfriend to go back to his mama's house. So she's extremely scared. She got the rest of her kids. She went into her room and she said she cried all night. Now, the next morning when she woke up, she said she put her kids in the playroom and she went down to go finish the laundry. As she got done with the laundry, she ended up walking around her house and speaking to whatever this thing was and saying, I mean no harm. You know, whoever you are, we can coexist. Just please stop scaring me. She said as soon as she said that, she heard stumping going around the attic. She said it was nothing in this attic but a fan, but all you kept hearing was stumping, stumping, stumping. So she calls her mom. Her mom comes over and asks her what's wrong. So she's telling her mom everything that's happened. So the mom is like, well, what you gonna do? Because you can't live with me because she already have her other sisters living with her and the sisters are pregnant. Now, remember the boyfriend, sister, and brother supposed to move into that house. However, they didn't live there at the moment. They was moving in a week later. So Desiree asked her mom, could she just stay with her for a week until the brother and sisters get to the house so she won't be there alone. So the mom agrees. Desiree go live with her mom for a week. A week passes by. The brother and sister moves into her house. So Desiree goes back to her home. So Desiree and the sister is sitting down talking, having a conversation, and they hear something in the attic. Now, Desiree says she heard it, but she didn't say anything because she wanted to see if the sister was going to say anything. The sister did say something and asked her, did she hear that? Desiree said yes. Remember the fan that was in the attic? Like one of the fans you just plug up that you can buy from like Walmart, Family Dollar? That fan was sliding back and forth across the floor. The sister asks, how is it moving? Desiree told her, well, it's a ghost in here. And the sister's like, what do you mean it's a ghost? Desiree said, well, I've been telling y'all it's a ghost in here, but no one wants to believe me. So both of them went and grabbed the Bible, walked around the house praying and saying certain verses from the Bible. So after going around the house with the Bible, Desiree did say, okay, the activity in the house calmed down. So she felt like it worked until it didn't because that was short-lived. However, I am running out of time. I will be back for a part 2 on this. If you have any stories that you want to submit, please DM them to me or email it to the email that's in my bio. What's up, cousins? So I'm back for part 2 of Desiree's story. Okay, so after they got them reading the Bible verses and praying, and she did say the activity in the house did calm down, so she felt like, okay, maybe this worked. Until it didn't. So her birthday is coming up. Her birthday's on a Thursday. She go out, she have a good time. Friday comes around, her and her boyfriend get into a big fight in the hallway. He beats Desiree in the face to where she has 2 black eyes, a concussion, and he almost dislocated her jaw. She ended up in the hospital the day after her birthday. Now, she said that a woman came and visited her. She was short, she was pale, she had long black hair, but she did not understand what she was saying, and she didn't even know who the lady was. Now, mind you, this is before she even gets to the hospital. So she's riding in the ambulance, and the lady gets in the ambulance with her, the lady that she's seeing, and she's confused because Desiree knows she's knocked out, but she's not understanding why she sees this woman and wondering why no one else sees this woman. So after she gained consciousness and comes back to herself, she tells her mom what she saw. Her mom said that that was her mother, which would have been Desiree's grandmother, who's deceased. Okay, so fast forward, she's in the hospital and the doctors and the nurses is asking her like, hey, did you and someone get into a physical altercation? And she's like, no, it was an accident. So after she didn't healed up enough, she leaves the hospital and she go back home. Now she's go back home and she's looking at herself in a bathroom mirror. She see 2 black eyes. Her nose is all red and bruised up. And she said as she's looking into the mirror, she see the bathroom shower curtain behind her swaying back and forth. So she pulls the shower curtain back and of course, no one's there. She's not surprised. Desiree is aggravated and agitated at this point because she has a concussion, the way she looks, she can't go to sleep, and she's dealing with this ghost. So she asks the ghost, why do you keep bothering me? She said this is the first time this thing ever talked back to her, and it told her to go. She said, and guess what she did? She didn't go. She didn't. And she said she should have. She should have left, but she didn't. After Desiree heard the voice, she didn't even run. She actually walked outside and sat outside because she was so drained. She has 2 black eyes. She can't call her boyfriend because of the altercation they just got in. She cannot call her brother's sister because she actually heard what they was saying over her body, thinking her body was lifeless, and they thought that she couldn't. They thought she could not hear them because she was unconscious. However, she said she heard every single thing they said and was planning to do. She couldn't call her mom because the mom didn't even know she had 2 black eyes. So even after all of this going on, she still decided to stay in the house where paranormal things still occurred and got worse and worse, and even started messing with the sister and brother. Now, if you guys have any stories that you want to submit, make sure that you guys DM them to me, or you can submit it to the email that's in my bio, okay?
This is my experience living in a haunted house for 6 months. In 2023, I decided that I wanted to move out my family home just to get a bit of my own space and do my own thing. Side note, I do not recommend this. If you can stay at home with your parents, save your money and stay. Anyways, so I was looking to rent in London originally, but we all know London rental prices is just like through the roof. It's insane. So I actually decided to move to Reading, which I did. And when I was like looking for a place to stay and a place to rent, I found this really beautiful house share in Reading, and it was really like affordable for what it was. And I got in touch with the people and I did an online viewing, so I never actually viewed it in person before I moved in there. Then everything happened really quickly. I paid my deposit and then within like a week or 2 I moved in. First impressions, everything was so nice. There was no smell, the kitchen was well kept, my room was really nice, like everything was clean, my bathroom was like brand new. And then I met all my housemates and they were all such nice, lovely people. So I was really happy, and I just, you know, unpacked my bags and got settled in. So my first night I was just exhausted because I spent the whole day moving, you know, settling in, and I was just so exhausted. And when I first got into the bed and like laid down, I just felt like a really weird presence. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like a weird vibe, but I just brushed it off and I went to bed because I was just so tired. I didn't care, to be honest. At that point I thought, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go sleep. So after my first few nights staying there, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but something was so wrong. Like, something was off. Like, when I was getting ready, I just felt really like eerie, and it would be like a very uncomfortable like silence, a very uncomfortable like atmosphere. And then it started with nightmares. I started to get the worst nightmares, like vivid nightmares, and I used to wake up in the middle of the night like sweating and my heart pounding. So I spoke to my mum and tried to explain it to her that I'm having this really weird like feelings in these nightmares, and she literally was like, Isla, don't worry, maybe it's because you moved into a new place, you're just like overthinking everything, like don't worry, just pray, you know, and you'll be fine. So whatever, I still couldn't get a good night's sleep, but I just pushed through it, like, you know what I mean, like I just tried to get on with it and get on with my life. And then one day I woke up and my whole railing was like, my curtain railing was on the floor, but I didn't hear it fall in the night. And like, obviously it could have been just like a faulty curtain. So I just texted my landlord and whatever, they sorted out, but I'll put a picture here of like what it looked like in the morning when I woke up. So yeah, I actually took this picture later on in the evening because that morning I was rushing out the door for work. But yeah, this is the curtain and how it fell on the floor, and I heard nothing in the night. My curtains got fixed in a few days, that was no problem, but even within those few days, imagine sleeping on the ground floor with no curtains. Like, I was scared because I was thinking, what if someone's like peering through my windows? But I survived. After that, I started to hear and smell stuff. I would hear like knocks and taps in the night, and I would smell the most revolting, disgusting smell. But during the day, I couldn't smell it, like I wouldn't smell it. So I went to my housemates and I said to them, like, are you guys hearing these taps and these knocks in the night? And are you smelling like what I'm smelling? And they all were like, no, like, I don't know what you're talking about, like, we don't hear anything, we don't smell anything, like, it's all fine for us. So out of curiosity, I asked them who lived in my room before me, and they told me there was this one girl that they rarely ever saw. She wasn't very friendly, she wasn't very talkative, they just left her to it. And they said she stayed in her room for literally 24 hours of the day. She never left her room, but every time they would walk past her door, it would smell so badly, because my room's like the main hallway on the bottom floor. It would just smell so badly. And when she actually finally just randomly moved out unannounced, they had actually a little look in her room. This is when she handed in her keys. They had a look in her room and they literally told me there was piles of trash and dirt and rubbish everywhere. There was like just stuff everywhere. So I was just getting really freaked out, because I'm putting all of this together in my head and I'm just thinking, what was this girl doing in this room? And I was just getting more scared. And one night I went to sleep and I felt a pressure on my stomach. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I was dreaming and I dreamt of like somebody coming over me, and I woke up, but I still felt like I was dreaming and I couldn't move. Like, I just had this presence and this like really heavy force on my chest. And I literally felt like I was like that forever. And then eventually, like, I kind of shook out of it and I was crying. I was like literally so scared, but I had nowhere to go. So I just had to like, I literally got up and I prayed and I just went back to bed, but I struggled to go back to sleep. Like, I felt like I was awake the whole night. So after that happened, the next following days, like, obviously I was really scared. I was struggling to go to sleep. But after a week or so, weirdly, everything just felt fine. Like, I just didn't feel like scared anymore. I didn't feel a presence anymore or anything, and I just got on with my life. Like, I just almost like I just forgot about it, and I just was going to sleep fine. Like, I wasn't waking up in the night anymore. I wasn't really having nightmares anymore, and it just kind of felt like everything went away, or I thought so. One day I was working from home and I hear a screech and a bang, and I look towards my window and I see a bird has hit my window and fell, and I quickly jumped up literally within a second to go look out my window, and nothing was there. Like, nothing was there. I can swear to you guys, I heard a screech and I saw a bird hit my window and it just dropped, and then nothing. Like, when I was looking around, I was looking out the window checking to see if there's any marks on the window. There was literally nothing, and I was just like so freaked out, because I was like, what the hell? More of like, oh my god, like a bird has just died and hit my window. And then it started again. I started to get nightmares again. I couldn't go sleep at night. I kept hearing things again. I kept smelling things again. It just started all over again. And then I had another similar experience where I woke up in the night, felt like something was on me, but I couldn't move. And that morning when I woke up, I kind of smelled like a burning smell, and I freaked out and I texted the group chat going, has anyone burnt something? Like, I can smell a burning thingy. And they were like, no, no one's burnt anything. So I went to go open my curtains, and a clump of blonde hair was sitting there on my windowsill inside. To let you know, there was nobody living in the house at the time that was blonde. The girl that stayed in my room before me, she was not blonde. And also, if you think back to when my curtain broke, my curtains got replaced. So I had brand new curtains put up, and the guy who did put my curtains up was bald. There was no way this blonde bit of hair would have just been laying in my windowsill. There's no way. So this is the piece of hair that I found, and if you look close, you can see like it's knotted, like somebody's got a bit of hair, wrapped it up and then knotted it and then placed it on my windowsill. Even looking at this photo again just gives me jitters. Like, it really freaks me out. So after I saw that, I thought, nah, there's no way. Like, how the hell can this get there? So I flashed it down the toilet. Now I should have known I should have burnt it, but I flashed it down the toilet, packed up my bags, and I left. Because I thought, there's no way in hell. The bird, the hair, the noises, the feeling of someone being on top of me in the night, you know, like the smell, like everything, the nightmares. This was it for me. And I was like, what's going to happen next? Like, what is this? Like, it looks like black magic. So I packed up my bags, I went straight back to my mum's house, and I had to keep paying rent for the next couple of months, but I was just so scared and I just couldn't live there.
Alright, if you don't like real life ghost stories, then you're going to want to skip this video, but if you do, then stick around. When I was a kid, my father started dabbling with the occult. He joined a group of Rosicrucians, which is a witchcraft cult. And he would bring some items to the apartment where we lived in after work, and he would go into the bedroom, lock himself in. If we were in there, he'd, have us leave. And he would perform some sort of ritual or God knows what. We weren't allowed in. He didn't tell us what he was doing, but it was something to do with the witchcraft. Strange things started happening in the apartment, but eventually my mother left him, and we had to move in with family. And of course, we were very poor, so we all shared a bedroom. My mother and my sister slept in one bed. I slept in a smaller bed next to them. One night, I remember waking up at about 3 in the morning. I had been waking up at about 3 in the morning every night for a while, but on this particular night, I woke up and I was just laying there awake, and I had turned and I was facing my mother and sister's bed, when suddenly I see this blue light come out of my mother. This bright, brilliant, indescribable light that I've never seen before or since. When this light came up, it was like my mother laying there on the bed, and this thing just came up like this. It sat up. It was what you would call a ghost, a spirit, and it was my mother. Same hair, same face, same torso, arms, and because it was sitting there, the blue in her legs, it was still just sitting there like inside her legs, but her torso, she kind of sat up on the bed with her arms back, like when you're about to get up out of bed, and it's staring forward. And I guess it sensed that I was looking at it, and so it turned to look to me. And when it looked at me, again, the visible appearance of it was identical to my mother, but there was something strange in her look. It didn't have the look that my mother gives. It didn't have that same stare, that same glare or look that my mother had. When a loved one looks at you and they're not okay, anyway, it was off. It was foreign. It was strange, and it was looking at me almost as if it was confused as to why I was looking at it. It was confused that I was in its presence, almost as if it was strange to it that I was looking at her. And this freaked me out. Of course, after a few seconds, and I guess after I absorbed it and processed it in my 5-year-old mind, I began to scream bloody murder. And it looked at me, it was still looking at me, and when I started to scream, it just kind of went, and it turned back forward and it laid back down. One of the things that really stood out to me was, as bright and brilliant as this thing was, it wouldn't give off any light. It didn't give off light into the room, onto the wall, onto me. It was all contained there. And it was the most brilliant blue light. I've never seen anything like it before, anything like it since. It was a blue, almost like this color blue, but just imagine super bright. And so after it laid down and I started screaming, I jumped out of the bed and I went over to my mother's bed, and I was trying to find comfort in her, but she wasn't waking up. I was basically dancing and jumping around on the bed, and it roused my sister, my older sister, who was at the time 12. And she just kind of was like, "What's wrong? Go back to bed." And I guess she thought I was having a nightmare. The next morning, I go up to my mother and she's getting ready for work. She worked at a restaurant, and I'm trying to tell her about what happened and if she remembered what happened. And I said, "Mom, can I tell you something?" And she said, "Not now, mijo, I don't have time. I'm getting ready for work." I tried the next day, and apparently I tried for about 2 weeks, my mother recounts, because after about 2 weeks of me going up to her saying, "Mom, I got to tell you something," it hit her and she said, "Okay, what's wrong with this kid? Something's on his mind and he needs to tell me something. I better pay attention. And so I recounted the story that I just told you, and she had zero recollection of this. And that was strange. And she asked me to tell it to her more than once. Over the next, few weeks, she was just shocked. She told family about it. And the story didn't change because it's a memory. It's not a story. So even years later, we remember this. This is one of the things that stood out. These things, when you're dabbling with things like witchcraft, these kinds of things will follow you around for years. This is one of many experiences. So if you're interested in hearing more about this, let me know, drop a comment, let me know what you think about what I just told you about, and tell me if that would freak you out.
Okay, I just got into the algorithm of people sharing their kind of spooky, scary stories while hiking, or a lot of Appalachia stories. This is not Appalachia, but about 3 years ago near Idaho Springs, in, I want to say, February, March, maybe April. I'm somewhere in that time frame where there's still snow. My friend and I drove up to Hell's Hole Trail, and we couldn't get far because there was so much snow. We're in a Jeep. We park on the side. We're going to snowshoe up and snowshoe as much of the trail as we could. And as we start to go up with 4 dogs, big dogs, we're walking up the trail, and there is a pickup truck sideways blocking the road. And there's a man there clearly stuck in the snow. We're like, okay, that happens. He's not afraid of the dogs, and the dogs are taught to ignore people unless otherwise told. So the dogs kind of all surround him. We're like, everything okay? And he is wearing what looked to be fishing waders around him, and then a bright yellow shirt. Pickup truck plates, I want to say, were, I'm gonna forget, but the plates did not match the place he told us he was from. It was a different state, and it was not Colorado. And we're on the trail, and he's like, yeah, my car's stuck. And we're like, I mean, we can try to help push it if you want. And there's a kind of a cliff edge and trees on one side, and the rest is just gravel and covered in snow. So we tried to push it, my friend and I. Didn't get it very far. So my friend's like, well, why don't I get in the front seat and I'll try to give it some gas, and you and my friend push. So she gets in the front seat, starts the car, we're pushing, makes a little ways, stuck again. And we're like, you know what, sorry, we obviously can't help you. And he was like, oh, it's okay, I've been camping up there the last few days. My friend's still up there. My friend Connor's still up there, and I was supposed to meet him. And we don't see any other cars, and also you don't really camp at that time of the year when there's that much snow. I mean, you could, but it was odd. His trunk was filled with a bunch of stuff. He told us he had just gone to a storage unit auction, and he didn't get much. We're like, okay. So he had told us that he tried to chop down a tree branch to use as a lever system to get the truck out of the snow. And then as we're leaving, my friend was like, the axe was on the front seat, and I instinctively threw it in the back. And she saw little bags of what looked to be women's jewelry, which would kind of match the storage unit situation, but not fully. And she saw a woman's bag and sunglasses or something, and he was by himself. Oh, I'm getting the chills. And so we walk away, and he gets out. The car gets out all of a sudden, and we were just like, something's off. The hair on the back of our neck stood up. We're not that far from the car, so I'm like, I don't think we should go here. He can drive now. So we book it back to the car, and he pulls over and stops us, and he's like, where are you going? I thought you were hiking this. And we were like, actually, too much snow, we're headed out. And he said, where are you going? We're like, don't know yet. Literally run to the car, lock the doors. Oh, he tries to give us these bags of women's jewelry or whatever he had from the storage unit, and was like, here, for your help. And I was like, nope, don't want any of that. Get in the car, lock the doors, and he gets in front of us, and he's driving down the road, and We're going for like 5 minutes. We have no service. Key part. And we get halfway down the road. He is then kind of blocking the road, and he's outside of his car. And we get close. We don't even make eye contact and just zoom around him. At one point, we're like, fucking hit the car. Like, not that was the best idea, but like panicked. So then we're driving, and he drives again. And then we see him pulled over in like just like a little pull-out spot on the side of the road before you get to the town of Idaho Springs. Don't know how he got in front of us. There's not that many roads around there. And the second we get into service, we called the cops, and we were just like, gave the license plate, gave the spot he was parked at, told the situation. I was like, I don't know if he's hiding from something. I don't know if he has a friend up there, what they did, or why he has all of this stuff from the storage unit, but someone go check on this man. And they did. And I mean, we didn't get a like update or anything, but always still freaks me out. And this was, I think it was like February to April timeframe, 2022. So if anyone saw the same situation, let me know. It's fucking weird. Spooky story. Oh my god.
I'm gonna tell you guys a scary story. It's more like a creepy story rather than a scary story. So go ahead, grab your popcorn, grab your soda pop, grab your tea, and listen up. This was back, I want to say like in 2012, 2013, and me and my best friend were like not having it, so we're gonna stay in and watch scary movies. Now, I love scary movies, but if there's one movie I will not watch, it's The Exorcist from 1973. Why, may you ask? I got possessed, basically. If y'all want a story time on that, let me know. But moving forward, I refused to watch that movie. And I was like, you know what? Let me get over my fucking fear, right? With my best friend, you know what? Fuck it, let's watch it. You know, we're like, fuck it, okay. We gathered up the courage. We went into her room. Mind you, her mom was in the house. Her mom was watching like some Spanish show in the living room. So we got our snacks and everything. She put the movie. The second she pressed play, all the lights in her room turned off. Her fucking TV went static. I have never in my motherfucking life jumped out of a bed so fucking fast. I zoomed out of her fucking room. Her and I were screaming. And her mom was in the couch. She was like, what the fuck is going on? And we told her like, everything turned off. All the lights are off. And then in the midst of panicking, we look around and we notice that the living room lights are on. Her TV's on. Everything else is on. And we were like, did your power not go out? And the mom was like, no. And we were even more freaked out because we were like, well, our fucking power just turned out because we wanted to watch a scary movie. And we told her, you know, it was fucking Exorcist, the one that was banned for 10 years for being that scary. We wanted to watch it and everything turned off. She was like laughing at us and she's like, it's not that serious, whatever. We did not watch that movie after that, and I have never attempted to watch it again. It solidified and confirmed that I should never be watching that movie. After that, I never attempted to watch it again. I'm fine. My family, though, they do play it and they make fun of me. They're like, okay, your favorite movie. And I will literally have full-blown panic attack. Like, I cannot watch that movie. I cannot hear that movie. I will legit get nightmares. I cannot. I fucking hate that movie. But yeah, that's my fucking scary story time, creepy story time, whatever.
Gonna want to listen to this story, but trigger warning, I advise do not watch this in the dark or at night or sitting alone in your bed because it will freak the shit out of you. This man goes to sleep with his wife and they're sleeping in bed, and around 3 o'clock in the morning he was woken up to this noise, and it sounded like the front door, like somebody was trying to like scruff or trying to get in through the front door. It has one of these front doors, when the door shuts, it automatically locks and you have to have the keys to get back in the house. I actually have a front door just like this. So the first thing he does, he gets his phone and he opens the Ring doorbell app. And when he's looking at the camera in the app, he sees his wife is outside and at this point it was 3 o'clock in the morning, it was freezing cold, and she was standing there shivering, trying to get in the house. But his wife is laying next to him. So he turns over to this person who is laying in bed with him and he shines a torch on her, And it is his wife. His wife is actually there and she's sleeping. She's fast asleep and she's fine. He checks the Ring doorbell app again and he's so confused because this woman looks just like his wife, but it's not his wife because his wife is laying next to him in bed. So he approached the front door, and at this point he's thinking maybe it's a burglar or maybe it's somebody pretending to be his wife to trick him so they can get in the house. He does not open the door, but he shouts out, "Who is it? Who's there?" And this woman replied, "It's me. I've left my keys in my bag and I can't get in. It's freezing. Can you please open the door and let me in?" He froze because this woman sounded just like his wife. The exact same accent, same annotation. This woman literally was a photocopy of his wife. He replies, "Hold on a minute," and dashes back to his bedroom. To his wife? He shakes his wife awake, and of course when she wakes up she's really groggy, she's really tired, and he's like, "You need to see this." Shows her the Ring doorbell and this woman standing out there, and she's like, "Oh, when was this recorded?" He's like, "No, this video is a live video. This is happening right now." Explaining to her, he just spoke to this woman who looks and sounds exactly like her, his wife, and she said to him that she wants to come inside and she's freezing and that she just forgot her keys in her bag. So she ends up going downstairs. She's tired, she's pissed, she does not believe him. She opens the curtains and immediately shuts them as fast as she could because she's like, "What the hell? That is me." Both look at each other and they decide to speak to this woman outside. So the husband calls out, "What's your name?" And this woman outside replied with his wife's full name, including her middle name. He then asks, "What's your birthday?" And she gets it correct. He then even asked, "What do we have for dinner tonight?" And she replied what they had for dinner, plus saying that he cooked it, which was true. So the wife inside the house at this point is trying to control herself. She is freaking out, and the husband reaches over to her and says, "Ask it something only you would know." She's there thinking, what can I ask her? What can I ask her on the spot? Something that only she supposedly would know. Ask this woman outside, the last time you went to your parents' house, what was the thing they changed about your bedroom? There was a long pause, and the wife outside then goes, "Who is that? Is there someone else with you? Who's that there speaking?" She goes, "You're starting to freak me out. What is going on? Why are you not letting me inside?" At this point, the fake wife outside realizes she's actually speaking to the real wife inside. The husband and wife at this point are just like, "Answer the question, answer the damn question." And after another long pause, she answers the question, and correctly. The wife inside is absolutely terrified because only she is supposed to know about this. So she grabs her husband's hand and they run upstairs to go back to their bedroom and they lock themselves in the bedroom. They pull out the Ring doorbell app and they watch this woman outside that looks just like the wife walk off in the backyard. And they presume she's off to find the spare key. They're truly convinced at this point, if this woman knows all these personal questions about them, she will know where the spare key is. That's the story. It is terrifying, and it's so terrifying because I have a feeling that this was a Jinn pretending to be the wife, but this Jinn must have been watching them and must have been hanging around them for a long time, which is just terrifying to think. It is so scary. But let me know what you think about this story. Let me know what you think happened. If you think it must have been just a stranger that was pretending to be the wife trying to get in, or if you think it was some sort of paranormal activity.
So this happened while we were in high school. I remember we used to live so close. So we went to high school and middle school together. So we were like pretty close. So we lived so close to the schools that we couldn't get a bus. So it was like one of those 15-minute walks. So I'll pick her up on the way there, and then on the way back I'll drop her off, stop at her house, have some drinks, you know, water, food, whatever, and then walk back home. So this one particular day when we got out of school, we were in high school, I was walking to her house. We walked to her house. There was nobody home. Her parents were at work because her mom worked like a 3 to 11 shift or whatever, and her dad also worked. So while we were at home, we went upstairs to her house, and she's a Haitian girl, so she has one of those big brown wooden chinas with the how do you call that, with the glass and everything. So they put glasses in there, and you know, all their biblos and all that stuff, like antique porcelain things, right? Her whole house was covered in like porcelain and all the let me picture the house to you. So it's like one of those houses with the plastic over the chairs, and nobody can sit on the chairs basically. And then they have the big vintage chinas, the wooden brown chinas with the glass, and you can see through it, and they'll put glass in there and all that stuff. So while we're upstairs just minding our business, you know, chit-chatting about what happened at school today, all we heard was a big boom, like something fell, something heavy fell, and it had glass in it, so the glass shattered. You could hear the glass shattered, and when the thing fell, there's no way that something in that house wasn't broken. So we ran downstairs to go check to see what the hell's going on. Maybe somebody came home, maybe we didn't hear, whatever the case may be. We ran downstairs to see where the source of the sound came from. We got downstairs, we looked everywhere. The girl was freaking out because she was like, oh my god, either the big thing fell, because that's what I was thinking, the china fell, don't know how it would fall because there's nothing there that would have make it fall. The thing is so damn heavy, you know, it never moves. They never, even when they move the house around, you know, rearrange their house, the china never moves. It stays exactly where it is. So I'm thinking the china fell. So we went downstairs to go look, and she's thinking something knocked a biblo over, because her mom, she's obsessed with those antique little ladies and, you know, holding the umbrella and all that stuff. If you guys know, you know. But she's freaking out because she's like, oh my god, I'm about to be in trouble, something is broken, we don't know what happened. We ran downstairs, we could not find the source to what happened. I mean, there's no way. The sound was so loud that it should have been something that broke. I don't care how big or how small, something should have broke. We got there was no glass on the floor, there was no china, everything is standing exactly how it's supposed to be, but as if something fell. And till this day, her and I never talk about this. We just kind of, one day we'll be like, hey, remember what happened that one day? But we just can't remember what happened, or we just can't figure out what happened. So it's kind of like a short story, because we're like, well, we still don't know till this day what happened. And they lived in the house until recently, like 2020, when they ended up selling the house. When, you know, the market was low, they were making a lot of money. Well, the market was high, they made a lot of money off of the house. But they sold the house. Nothing else ever happened ever since that thing happened with my friend. And that's it. I mean, there was nothing fell. Nothing else happened again. I don't know. I've always been like a spiritual person, so I thought maybe, you know, since we didn't find anything, I thought maybe I was the only one that heard it, but she also heard it, so she's not spiritual. So I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely something real, because I have heard things fall, break before, even in my house now. I have heard things, and I walk around the house and there's nothing breaks, nothing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think. Let me know if this have ever happened to you. Let me know, maybe we were tripping. I don't know. But something definitely happened that day. And ever since then, never talked about it again. Nothing else ever happened in the house. I mean, here and there, there'll be like flickering of lights and everything. But I think it's because the lights are bad. You know, it's not necessarily because the house is haunted. But it was definitely a spooky situation. Because I'm like, what the hell? But anyways, y'all, let me know what you think about this video. Talk to you later. Bye. I don't feel very good today. Like I said, we're going to touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself, and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal this your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you, and also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, womb, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It even has one to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick of all the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you'll need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels, and let's see, a 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol's there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil look like, all that, and the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell and basically grow your finance, grow your love, self-love, self-admiration, chance to say to yourself to give you that extra energy to go about your day. And also tips to enhance your spell. Oh, I already said this. And morning coffee abundance prosperity spell. You guys remember I just shared a video about morning coffee and how important it is when it comes to hoodoo, and how you can basically use your first cup of coffee in the morning to manifest a better life or a better day, or to bring forth money to you. So don't let, you know, you're already doing these things anyway, so you might as well just incorporate something a little bit extra to basically boost your thing. And here's a to influence your boss spell. So this one, I'm sure people who are actually working are going to love this. It's to influence your boss and attract favors towards you at work. Because look, in this economy, we're all working and we need some boost at work, and we also sometimes need to be tied to our job, so therefore you don't get fired. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that you could do to basically tie yourself to your job, and or tie the job to you. And once you're done and you're all tired of that job, you can get rid of it. It's not something that's completely permanent, but use magic, guys. It's here for you to use. You have the herbs in your closet, you have the herbs in your pantry, you have the candles that you could just simply buy some candles super cheap. Use magic to elevate your life. Use magic to make yourself better. Let me tell you, Jesus was out here using magic, okay? Walking on water and stuff and turning water into wine. Sounds like magic to me. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.